That's good. At least they know. Okay. Yeah. Okay. The short end of the TLDR. We're working on it. Okay. So apparently, Chrono Odyssey is getting completely reworked. Like Giga, like they took the feedback, they delayed the game, and they said, okay, we will fix it all. And here they go. All right, let's see. All right, dev note 2. All right. All right, so let's, oh my God. So combat systems, content and open world, progression and gameplay flexibility, technical stability, art, design and animations, UI, UX, balance, social features, in-game guidance, sound and narrative, all getting major overhauls. Jesus Christ. Bro, they have like a table of contents. All right. Controls, input responsiveness. This was a big one that people had a serious problem with during the open beta test that they had. Long recovery frames made it difficult to input new commands during ongoing animation. So this is issues. Okay. Certain motions remained unresponsive even after visual completion. Weapon swapping and other combat actions suffered from input buffering, resulting in delayed response. Some content felt sluggish due to latency issues. UI interactions lacked clear visual feedback, making it hard to confirm whether an input was registered. Their plan for fixing all of this will be adjusting the interruption timing for movement, attack, and skill animations to improve responsiveness. The buffering window for inputs will be significantly reduced to prevent unintended actions from being triggered. Colors and effects across all interactions will be adjusted, and a unified UI kit will be introduced to improve clarity and visual feedback. A system-level feedback queue will be added when players attempt to cancel out with a non-interruptible action. Okay, sure. To further improve input responsiveness, we'll be reviewing client-server packet transmission to optimize network performance. Okay, that was one of the big ones. People felt that the gameplay was sluggish, or that the animations and the skills they had momentum, they had inertia, they didn't feel good. You know, like that's kind of what they're talking about here. So yeah, that's good. These are good things to be working on. I told you, bro. Controller, keyboard, and mouse experience. Issues. The current UI was not specifically designed with either controller scheme in mind, resulting in inconsistent and uncomfortable experiences across both setups. Many in-game interactions were developed around controller input, making keyboard and mouse feel unintuitive. Controller users experienced difficulties with range targeting and lacked access to fine-tuning settings such as sensitivity adjustment, vibration, haptic feedback, accessibility options, and overall responsiveness. Okay. All right, keyboard and mouse. UX will be optimized specifically for keyboard and mouse environments. Hold interactions, which are commonly used for controller inputs, will be minimized or removed. Controller. UX will be optimized specifically for controller environments. UI pages with inconvenient key mapping will be redesigned for better navigation. Preset options inspired by Souls-like and mmorpg control schemes will be added. Okay. Universal improvements. UI navigation depth will be minimized, and essential functions will be reassigned to more accessible buttons. To support more personalized control experiences, custom key mapping options and various input settings such as sensitivity scaling and input inversion will be enhanced. We'll be improving the lock-on feature to reduce control inconsistencies during combat for a more seamless experience. Okay, good. Skills will now consistently target locked-on enemies rather than firing based on the current camera direction. You know what Chrono Odyssey needs? Goon outfits. They don't need to. You can take off all your clothes in game. Although it would be great to have a Gooner outfit too. They call this open beta. This should have been a closed alpha phase 1. A lot of people already lost faith. I mean, those people are like, let's just be honest. Like, anybody that just like played a beta test and then wrote off the game is an idiot. It's the same thing. I mean, you look at Throne and Liberty. Throne and Liberty in beta was a complete disaster. It had the autoplay feature. There was like the large scale PvP just wasn't there. The combat would like you couldn't move while casting skills. It was miserable, right? but they went back to the drawing board. They fixed a bunch of stuff, and Throne ended up being a pretty good success overall for hundreds of thousands of people. People loved that game. Right now it's not doing so hot at the moment, but like, you know, it's a year after launch. I think they brought the game a super long way, and it was very successful, all things considered, when you compare it to what the beta looked like. Yeah. And I still think it's successful. Yeah. And they're okay. Let's just be honest for a second. The fact that these devs made this entire note and actually listened to feedback already makes them better than the current Black Desert Online developers. I'm just saying it. The Black Desert Online devs, it's like you're talking to a brick wall. They just do whatever the fuck they want. They don't care what everybody says. They don't care what the players say. Thank God the game is good. As long as they don't completely ruin the game, we're okay. But those can't fix shit for feedback if you paid them. If you paid them. Because we do pay them. Hit feedback. This is another big one. Issues. Monsters had hit excessively high stagger thresholds, resulting in weak hit reactions and reduced sense of impact. Crowd control effects had extremely short durations, making it difficult to take advantage of set effects during combat. It was often hard to measure the correct distance needed to land attacks. True. Our plan: hit reactions will occur more frequently, and knockback effects will be added to make hits easier to recognize. Enemy attack patterns will be adjusted to allow for varied player responses, such as parrying, countering, blocking, dodging, and adding more depth to the combat. Oh, cool. Parrying is sick. Parrying sounds sick. Countering is cool. Blocking, awesome. Dodging was already in the game, so maybe more dodging is what it looks like. The same reactive effects will be applied to enemy attacks, enhancing the sense of impact and increasing combat tension. Okay. All enemy hit reactions will be reviewed to identify missing animations, which will be implemented as needed. Okay. Hit reaction behaviors will be standardized across monster types to support experience-based learning and improve clarity in encounters. Damage floaters and HP bar animations will be enhanced to make successful hits more noticeable. CC durations will be increased to 2 to 4 seconds, making successful CCs more apparent and allowing for more opportunities for follow-up attacks. This is a big one for PvP, particularly because like trying to keep people locked down was difficult, so that's good. Damage feedback. Damage feedback often felt weak, reducing the sense of impact when taking hits. Incoming damage often went unnoticed when players were interacting in menus. Misaligned hitboxes and network latency caused outcomes that didn't match what was displayed on the screen. Our plan: damage notifications will be improved to ensure players recognize incoming damage even while in the in-game menu. Enemy attack motions, visual effects, and hitboxes will be aligned to improve clarity. Client-server response times will be optimized to minimize hit and damage timing delays. New hit reaction animations will be added based on the type of enemy attack, improving the visibility of effects like stagger and knockback. Sound and camera effects will be enhanced to improve the sense of impact. Baseline hit animations will be refined so that attacks produce a consistent and noticeable visual reaction. Okay, these are all, again, very good things. This is exactly the feedback that we were all giving them for this damage feedback, hit feedback, control. Okay, keyboard and mouse experience. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Input responsiveness was another big one. They're addressing the really, really important key issues that people really had issues with here. So that's really good. This is really good. Skill synergies. Issues. Skill chaining felt difficult to execute due to a lack of energy between abilities. Passive skill enhancements were often more efficient, reducing incentive to use active skill combos. Our plan: the skill system will be refined to support a wider range of playstyles, even within the same class or weapon. Each weapon will support 4 different combat styles, allowing players to create builds based on their progression path. Okay, well, that's really good. That's a big change. 4 distinct combats. So way bigger skill tree, which is good because I felt like the skill tree was definitely lacking. There was definitely like not enough skills on that skill tree to really keep people engaged, I think. So like allowing people 4 different combat styles, making it a little bit more complex, I think is probably good. Skill synergies will not be limited to a single weapon. Skills across different weapons will link together, opening up various combinations. We will continue to develop skill chaining and progression systems over time, reinforcing a structure that's easy to grasp yet hard to master. Right on. Okay, again, that's really good. All good things. Everybody said that the combat didn't feel good, and I'm telling you, like, look, they change all of this stuff and successfully, and they do what they say. Combat's gonna be great. Skill descriptions and indicators. Some skill descriptions were too long and hard to understand. It was unclear which effects corresponded to the buff icons. Buffs and debuffs had visibility issues. Sure. The Chronotector summon ability lacked in-game guidance. Okay, so they're gonna fix all that. Sure. Skill descriptions will be refined. The HUD for buffs and debuffs will be redesigned to improve visibility, with new effects added when buffs and debuffs are applied for better player awareness. And then summon UI will be updated to display specter types, backstories, abilities, and enhancement details. Okay, sure. Class balance. All classes currently show similar rules, tank, healer, DPS, lacking distinct identity. Ranged classes are easier to play compared to melee classes. These are the issues, by the way. Monster AI does not pose a meaningful threat to ranged classes. There are significant balance discrepancies between the 3 weapons available for each class. All right. Plan. Monster AI will be improved to ensure monsters respond more effectively to ranged attacks. This is good because, yeah, this was a problem when I played Ranger. Introduction of the Matrix system. Skill tree nodes. The Matrix will allow players to choose specific roles for each weapon, reinforcing combat style identity. That sounds pretty cool. More customization. Even when using the same weapon, players will be able to choose from 4 distinct styles based on their progression path. Based on progression paths, the same skill may deliver a different combat experience. With the introduction of the Matrix system, all classes will be reevaluated for combat balance. That's really good. I think the customization was one thing the game was lacking. The skill tree was just not there. There just wasn't a crazy amount of customization or a bunch of skills on the skill tree. You look at a game like Black Desert, obviously it's a little unfair, but I just had to have, I've got it open in the background. Look how many skills and passives and shit, and that's just that one page. There's the Awakening. You got the skill enhancements, then you got your skill add-ons there too. In Throne and Liberty, there were way more skills. There were like, I don't know, you can put like 9 skills or like 10 skills on your bar in Throne and Liberty with a choice of like 16 skills, and then you had like 16 more passives to choose from as well, that chose to or to not to equip. Then you had the skill enhancement effects as well. So like you would add like you could add like different abilities on, and then the abilities would do different things based on the different like skill points that you put into that skill. That sounds a lot like the Matrix system that they're adding here. A lot like, again, so you have the skill, you put different, I don't know. So there's different nodes for the skill. Everybody takes the same skill. If you choose this node, the skill does this thing. If you take this node, the skill does this thing. If you take this node, the skill does this thing, which is a lot different than what we currently have, which is you take this skill, you get this skill. That's what we have right now, which I think this is a good change. This is a W. Weapon swap needs to be a little cleaner. I'll be honest with you. It's a little clunky. Weapon swaps often felt delayed, occurring often after animations ended. Yep. Pressing the weapon swap key multiple times could cue several inputs. Oh, yes, dude. I did that so many times. That swap back and forth on accident, often causing the wrong weapon to be equipped. When swapping weapons during combat, it was often difficult to recognize which weapon was currently in use. Our plan: skill recovery times to be reduced to allow smoother weapon swaps during ongoing skill animations. The buffer window for weapon swaps will be shortened to less than 1 second so that the weapons feel more responsive. A short cooldown will be applied to swaps, preventing unintended double swaps. HUD design for equipped weapons will be enhanced to improve visibility during combat. All right. Visual and HUD effects will be added to make transitions more noticeable. All good things again. Can't tell if I'm drinking Sprite or copium. All right, balance, combat depth, and pacing. Issues. Combat patterns focus too heavily on dodging and attacking, making encounters feel simplistic and repetitive. All classes offered a similar combat experience, weakening class identity and variety. I think that's fair. Well, I wouldn't say all classes, but I would say the warrior and the berserker were really close because I played a lot of both of those. Lack of a proper hit and damage feedback made all encounters feel similar. Awkward enemy AI and animations disrupted combat pacing and broke immersion. Yep. HUD 100% that happened. Our plan: enemy AI will be adjusted to react to player movement rather than solely following priority-based action sequences. Wind-up animations for enemy skills that inflict knockback, stuns, and knockdowns will be improved to better signal danger and allow players to respond accordingly. The Matrix system will introduce various combat styles, even for players using the same weapon. All right, so what we read through. Okay. So the Matrix system sounds really cool. Enemy patterns, issues, combat difficulty felt unintentionally high due to unclear weapon telegraphs, making it difficult to time dodges and attacks. Okay, so monsters with subtle pre-attack motions will have more noticeable animations. Sure, FOB sensitivity settings will be improved. Awesome. Patterns with wide hitboxes and long tracking sequences will be adjusted, making it easier to dodge and block incoming attacks. Players will no longer be instantly defeated by bosses unless they're significantly under-leveled. I thought that this was a good part of the game. I liked that it was hard.
Camera
Okay.
is off, by the way.
1,500 people watching. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing. I'm sitting here talking to myself, looking at the camera. Nobody even sees me. What am I doing? I was enjoying it. Bro, fuck me. Alright, they're fixing the camera problems. Locking onto cameras. Vertical. Shut up. Shut up. I'm trying to read. Okay, so I am going to gloss through some of these that are less important, and I'm just going to kind of gloss over them a little bit. Camera movement and angles, so they're going to fix the, objects between the character and the camera will turn transparent to maintain clear visibility. Camera movement will be smoothed out. Lock-on positions will be adjusted based on monster type. Okay. Attack and skills will now directly target the locked-on enemy rather than following the camera's facing direction. Okay. Enemy AI and response time. Are you done?
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. Hey, girl.
I'll turn them off. I will turn the redeems off. God is my witness. Can I read now? Thank you. Enemy AI and response time. Enemies will now calculate target distance instantly rather than pausing before entering combat. Aggro detection rate will be increased. Enemy attack behavior will be improved. So enemy AI and response time is being improved, guys. All to say, like, aggro detection range, how the enemies are being aggroed, how they're walking back and forth, how they're calculating player distance. That's all being improved. Difficulty, PvE issues. Players encountered sharp difficulty spikes when encountering certain content too early. Lack of guidance on recommended skills and clear progression paths caused players to give up. Those players. I liked this aspect of the game. I don't know who else liked it, but I loved that. I love that they didn't tell me what to do or where to go, and I just had to figure it out. It felt like Skyrim, bro. Yeah, being able to wander into death is a good thing. It creates social information aspect. Yeah, I think it's really cool. Like, I think this is bad. I don't think that they should have listened to this. I think that the lack of guidance was a good thing. I think that Chrono Odyssey is going to be kind of a niche. It's an MMO. It's already going to be a niche game. I think that you really need to appeal to people that just want to go out in the world and explore shit without being told exactly what they need to do. I hope that they don't step too far away from that. The game's non-linear design contributed unevenly to uneven difficulty jumps. First Chrono Date, 1,000 Piercer. Okay, this one was a little rough. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so the first Chrono Gate is a little rough, rocky, boys. Players will now reach the first Chrono Gate at level 5 and still level 3. That's still not high enough. I went back at level 12. I'm just gonna say it. I went back. I said this shit. I left. I came back at level 12. I beat one of the other Chrono Gates before I came back and did this. All right, so this 1,000 Piercer guy, this guy's hard, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's a really hard boss. Additional progression paths will be introduced before entering the first Chrono Gate. Players will have the option to enter the first gate alongside the NPC for support. Ah, bullshit. That makes it too easy. Solo party content. Solo and party content will have clearer rules and revised patterns. Solo content such as Chrono Gates, Labyrinths, and Trials will be redesigned with deeper technical combat rather than fighting enemy mobs. I actually thought the Trials were phenomenal. I thought they were cool. They were different puzzles every time. Assuming that all the different trials were different, like moving through the game, That was one of my favorite parts of the game, was doing the trials. Because like you'd pick a door and it was like a completely different like door than you had picked last time. It was so cool. Party content such as the expedition and time portals will feature varied mission objectives that emphasize strategic role-based gameplay. Oh, okay. So like you're gonna have a role, tank, healer, DPS. That like a role-based gameplay implies that you're gonna have that kind of a role. Others core combat content will now include guidance for recommended party size, level range, and gear score. I think that's fair. That's fine. That's okay. Like if you want to say, hey, that's how BDO was. All right, combat UI and FX. All right, UI elements such as notifications. Buffs, and damage are frequently covered on the screen. Overly bright visual effects made it difficult to distinguish between ally and enemy skills. Okay, screen shake, whatever. Many effects appear too similar. All right. The HUD will now be redesigned to improve visibility of school cooldown and resource indicators. Glow effects will be reduced. Combat visuals will be refined to ensure character motions. All right. Players will now have have the option to toggle combat visual. Yo, PvP, huge. And it's the shortest section of all of them. Never mind. Me. I thought that this was all PvP shit. Never mind. Duels. It was difficult to recognize the duel zones due to clear lack of visual boundaries. Our plan, a visual barrier will be added to the duel zone. Okay, so that's it. That's it. There's nothing else. Nothing else here. Content and the open world. PvP, am I right? I will tell you this. Something gave me a lot of hope for PvP in this game. So we all know that the New World assets got leaked because the Chrono partners glitched themselves outside of the zone and then like showed all of the copy pasted New World assets. Like realistically, does that look really bad? It does. But let's be honest with ourselves for a second. Game development, oftentimes in game development, what you do is you copy paste what works from other games, you paste it into your game, and then you make it your own. That's a pretty common tactic that developers use, so I wouldn't get too crazy about that. But also, it is concerning that Canon asked them what games inspired Chrono Odyssey, and they did not say New World. That was bad. That part of it I thought was bad. Now, as far as PvP goes, how does that relate to PvP? They copied the large-scale PvP, like arena, that New World had, and they put it in Chrono Odyssey, which means they're at least looking at making like 35v35 or 45v45 game modes for people 100%, because there's no other reason to have that in the game, which is pretty cool. Content and the open world, region structure, navigation, interaction, exploration, local quest, dungeons, open world content. Okay, world content, density, and regional distinction. Low content density and lack of regional distinction led to underutilized areas and reduced immersion. All right. We'll be increasing the content density throughout the world, introducing new exploration elements such as themed caves and diverse exploration routes. That's what I loved about the game, so that's a really good change. To help players navigate through the world more easily, we'll be adding landmarks to complex to hard to navigate areas. Gathering materials such as herbs and ores will feature clearer textures to make them easier to locate. We'll be adding scenic viewpoints. Yeah, okay, nobody cares. Okay, guidance elements will be added to help travel paths. Okay, sure. To help players discover core content such as chrono gates. That's bullshit. I loved stumbling onto the chrono gates. I thought that was really cool. I do not like that they're guiding people to those. Bland and repetitive map design. Okay, obviously there's just... Okay, so they're working on that. Region-specific features such as swamps, misty forests, wildflowers, and grasslands will be further enhanced to strengthen visual identity. A dynamic grass system will be implemented, and the wind system, which will be improved to create immersive environmental interaction based on player movement. Oh, go back. Okay. Yeah, it's not. I still don't think it's going to look like that. I'm going to be honest with you. I still don't think it's going to look like that. Okay, regional structure. Disjointed regional transitions and unintuitive pathing. Okay, so additional routes will be added to areas that require frequent backtracking. The in feature will receive improved guidance and visibility. Sure. Okay. World map. Lack of terrain and indicators on the world map. The compass will... Oh. The compass provided limited guidance. Oh, people want a mini map. People like mini maps. I like mini maps too. Our plan. The compass will now include altitude indicators. So I gotta calculate... Why the altitude indicators? What the... I got an altimeter? Just give me a map. Using up and down arrows to reflect the location of the objective. Areas will be visually differentiated so that players can better identify points of interest. Explored and unexplored content will be clearly marked on the world map to help exploration progress. We'll be enhancing the quest tracker to provide better guidance. Players will be able to place additional custom markers and use a new MMO feature to track important locations and mark resource collection points. Inconsistencies between terrain and the world map will be corrected. So they're not adding a mini map. That's an L. That's an L. I think the mini map should be there. I love mini maps. They're like, oh, it's the immersion. Immersion. I need my mini map. And the mini map is important. I don't know how the fuck you play a game without a mini map. You gotta have that. I'm just... SNL. POI exploration. POIs often lacked meaningful content or rewards, which led to disappointing experiences. Points of interest. We'll be introducing caves, narrative encounters. They already said this. See, that's why I'm skipping a lot of this, guys. It seems like that it's been hashed over. Navigation, traversable, and non-traversable terrains. Non-traversable terrain will have a new feature, will now feature distinct visual elements such as rocks and cliffs at least twice the height of the player to clearly indicate areas that cannot be climbed. Interactions. Gathering feedback. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. It was difficult to tell if gathering was successful due to a lack of clear feedback. What the Gathering animations, effects, and sounds will be enhanced. Oh god, we're getting ASMR gathering, guys. Visuals and sound effects will, for material disappearance upon successful gathering, will be enhanced. I like that the things in the world disappear when you gather them. I think that's really cool. I like that. New World did that. I like this too. I like it in this game too. Interaction improvements. What I didn't like about gathering was that the trees would always respawn in the same spot. So if you needed like I don't know, like an arc tree, you could always go back to the same spot and find that same arc tree, which is going to lead to people camping the arc tree there, which I don't like very much. I think that rare materials should be rare, and you keep them rare by moving them around within a set area, like different spawn locations, but like they should be there. Interaction improvements. Isn't that in every MMO? Yeah, but in this one, the materials disappear. So I was kind of hoping that they would reappear in different locations, kind of like nature. It's a small thing, but it is what it is. So we'll be enhancing interaction, responsiveness, and methods to deliver a more intuitive and immersive experience. Okay. Sweet. Exploration rewards, reward value, issues. Exploration lacked meaningful ties to core content. I did not feel that way at all, but okay. Sure. Rewards were not compelling enough. Hey, I'm not going to say no to more rewards. New dynamic quests. Yeah, okay, yeah, never mind. That was my feedback. I said I wanted more dynamic quests. New dynamic quests, quest chains will be introduced, unlocked exclusively through exploring new areas or specific areas. Good. Hidden rewards will be added to strengthen the purpose of exploration. Rare achievements and titles and exclusive exploration will be introduced. That was also good feedback. Good. Yes, dynamic quests. Kind of like you experience dynamic quests in Guild Wars 2, but I don't think other people can help you with these dynamic quests. Another piece of my feedback was I was like, you should let people help each other with dynamic quests like they do in Guild Wars 2. This adding new dynamic quests and allowing people to help with those quests. That was part of my feedback. Content, engagement, and rewards. The progression structure will be refined to ensure players can progress through a variety of content, including world exploration. All right, cool. Each type of content will feature distinct progression mechanics. Sure. Local quests. Repetitive quest structure. Beyond the main quest line, we're adding meaningful, event-tailored quests to each region, along with quests that feature unique, memorable characters. We're also reworking certain quests so that players' choices influence how they progress and conclude, aiming to create a more varied and dynamic experience. That's really good. That's W. Quest rewards. Okay, so they're going to improve quest rewards overall. Yeah. All right, sure. Dungeons. One-dimensional dungeon structure. Current dungeons where experience leans too heavily on combat, whether in solo or party play. While solo dungeons receive positive feedback, the overall experience still lacked depth and polish. Okay, so we're introducing some randomized gimmicks to make each run feel unique. Okay, I don't think it's a good idea to call content that you are introducing to your game a randomized gimmick. What? What the? Like, you, bro, don't say that, bro. It might be true, but what are we doing right now? It's okay. Well, that doesn't feel very good then. Depending on the path you take, you'll encounter different bosses, treasure chests, and other events for a more dynamic experience. Trials. We're experiencing the overall atmosphere of Trials. Okay. New card system is on the way, offering buffs and debuffs that introduce a strategic roguelike element to each run. Sure, whatever. Labyrinths. New revival points will be added. Okay, so guys, they're trying to make dungeons less one-dimensional, which is good. But I liked the dungeons. I thought the dungeons were solid, but the group dungeons, not so great. Not so great. The trials were great. Trials were fantastic. Those were really good. And even those, they're trying to improve and make give more depth to it. Okay, sure. Open world content. Large scale. Whoa. Large scale combat visibility. Issues. There were difficulties understanding what was happening on the screen during large scale battles. During field bosses in particular, skill effects often caused major visibility issues. Our plan, we will be introducing a toggle option that allows players to show or hide other players' skill effects. Okay, sure. Additionally, certain player skills will have disruptive visuals. Dude, they're edging me. Like, open world content, large scale combat. Like, oh shit. Stop edging me, bro. Give me like the 35v35 game mode. Give me like 25v25. Give me something. Give me something. Reward and loot. That's the only gripe I have about this game. Not enough PvP. I want large scale PvP, and by large scale PvP, I mean I want like, I don't know, 10v10 to like 50v50, somewhere in there. I want like something in that ballpark. Like that would be really cool. Now they did say that there's PvEVP at the end in the end game that you have to do. We'll see how that works out. I've never seen PvEVP actually be successful as a game mode, but hey, you know. Our plan, few bosses now drop unique specific boss gear, making them feel meaningful and worthwhile challenge. Players who contribute to the fight will also see a clear visual and audio feedback when receiving rewards, improving the overall sense of progression. Sure. Okay, progression and gameplay flexibility. Jesus Christ, bro, these patch notes are long. These are long. Stats and progression, stat effects. The lack of clear explanation for stats. Okay, yeah, whatever. Progression curve. The EXP curve beyond level 10 made leveling unnecessarily slow. True. God damn, leveling was slow. We will significantly reduce the EXP cost after level 10 to be slow. Or I mean, to be slow, to smooth out the progression flow. Following the second Chrono Gate, new guides will help players stay on track and engaged. All right, sure. TL world bosses. True. There was open world PvP, so you should be able to kill people at field bosses. Gear, repetitive farming. Well, that's what we like so much. Repetitive farming loop caused the game to feel stale over time. What am I doing with my life? Core content like dungeons lacked replayability, with each run offering little variation in encounters or patterns. I'm just saying, this is ironic. People complaining about this in a Korean MMO is crazy. That shit's crazy. But okay, they're going to increase incentives and try to make it less repetitive. Sure. Gear utilization. Unique gear will be rebalanced to support a wider variety of progression styles and builds. We're working on stat increases that feel more impactful by diversifying builds and highlighting everyone's strengths. Monsters will now drop exclusive gear. Sure. We'll be adding a toggle option to hide. Oh, nice. To hide your headgear or cloaks, allowing players to keep their stats on when customizing player experience. So we're going to get to run around like naked women. Let's go. Bro. Enhancements in crafting system. Okay. Obtaining enhancement materials with gold and having 100% success rate made the overall experience less exciting. You are kidding me. You're joking. You guys complained that we have 100% success rate? That was a complaint? We're hopeless. We as an MMO community are actually hopeless. It's totally cooked. There is no way that we actually complained about it. No way. We want RNG. Stop it. Instead of making a repetitive process, enhancement materials will be given out as a one-time reward. Players will now be able to find the enhancement materials exploring in the open world. Oh, thank God they didn't add. Thank God they didn't add RNG. Holy shit. Imagine complaining that your enhancement, oh, it went 100% of the time. It made it less, there was less dopamine. Crafting interface. To better explain the benefits of higher crafting levels, we're adding a dedicated page and interface section that breaks down their effects. I don't understand how you don't understand this. White, green, blue, purple, yellow, orange. It's like this in every MMO ever. How do we not get this? Sometimes red. A new bookmark feature will let players track required items or materials for specific items, making it easier to follow the crafting process step by step. Okay. We're also improving the interface so it prioritizes recipes relevant to the player's class and level, improving overall usability. Okay, sure. 5% for Pid Blackstar, not fun, lower it. True. Gear and skill presets. Okay, so now we're introducing gear and skill presets. I swear to God, if we get gear and skill presets in Chrono Odyssey before we get them in Black Desert Online, GTA 6 is never coming out. We're never getting it. It's never going to happen. Oh, God, bro. I've been promised gear presets and skill presets forever. BDO doesn't have that. Nope. Throne and Liberty has gear and skill presets. Black Desert can't make it happen. They've only had 10 years. Give them a break. Give them a break. That's why our devs are... Okay? Everybody dogging on Chrono Odyssey. We got issues. We got our own issues in BDO, okay? Crafting value. The crafting results often felt underwhelming compared to the value of materials consumed. The gear crafting UI will be updated to better reflect potential outcomes. Sure. Whatever. Technical stability, bugs, performance, and world optimization. Here we go. Here's your optimization. Frame drops and input delay. Performance. Unstable frame rates during combat made the game feel less responsive than it actually was. Certain skills and visual effects caused noticeable frame drops. Additional frame drops occurred when large groups of players gathered, such as a party or raid content. Frame drops led to delayed skill inputs and reduced responsiveness. Network delays further impacted character movement. Network delays. Our publisher completely shit themselves. Skill casting, hit reactions, hitbox accuracy, and character movement. Timing, distance calculations, and collision detection were also affected, making combat sluggish and inconsistent. So their dev note made perfect sense to me. Oh, wait, no. An interesting thing about Chrono was that during the beta, on the third day, the combat felt sustainably better. Fewer players connected actually made it feel smoother and faster. Yeah, so the version of the closed beta, I played like the closed, like closeted. 10 people had access worldwide. beta. And that shit felt pretty smooth. That's why I liked it so much. Because like that's probably what it should have been like felt like to everybody else. But like my understanding is what the open beta didn't actually feel super great in terms of like because the frame delay. I did play a little bit of the open beta, and yeah, there was a lot of frame drops in the open beta. Like it got bad at times. Like you're down to like at 15 FPS. It was rough. Anyway, okay, our plan for these low frame rates. We're conducting a full review. I can't with the legs. Okay, we're conducting a full review of background loading processes, especially those triggered during combat to reduce frame drops. The number of skill effects spawned will be adjusted to improve performance in combat. We're also analyzing and optimizing tasks that are delayed within each frame to improve the consistency and timing of server-side processing. To reduce network-related delays, smaller zones, and certain types of combat content will be migrated to dedicated servers for more stable performance. Okay, there you go. Sweet. That's good. At least they know. Okay. Yeah. Okay, the short end of the TLDR. We're working on it! That's it. That's all I got on it. Affect performance issues. During combat, a sudden increase in visual effects caused a significant drop in performance. All right, so again, we're just okay. Yeah, that's we're working on it. All right, okay. Like they're bunch of science and shit. They're gonna fix some shit with the optimization. World optimization. Stuttering occurred due to delays to server client synchronization. Frame drops occurred upon loading new areas. Real-time loading of world resources led to noticeable stuttering for some players. Okay. Is this an actual working on it or BDO dev working on it? Well, they delayed the entire release of the game, so I'm going to go with actual working on it. And to be clear, if the Black Desert devs say that they're actually working on something, I believe that they're working on it. How hard they're working on it remains to be seen. The real trick with our Black Desert devs is getting them to say that they're working on it. It's not copium. It's the truth. We can't even get them to say that we're working on it. We can't even get them to acknowledge that we exist or that our opinions matter. All right, world optimization, stuttering. So they're going to work on stuttering as well. Art design and animations. Okay, visual style. The UI felt generic and lacks identity. Comes across as too similar to other games. Okay, we're revamping the UI with distinct patterns, color palettes, and animations tailored specifically to Chrono Odyssey's visual style. Sure. Character animations, movement. Okay, so this is an important one. Movement animations felt disconnected, especially during sharp turns or rapid changes in direction. Sprinting and sprint jumping caused noticeable breaks in animation flow. Characters appeared to slide unnaturally due to excessive inertia at high speeds. Okay. Resyncing animations, animation lock adjustments. Character movement speed will be adjusted to improve responsiveness. Inertia will either be reduced or removed to prevent overextension when stopping from high speeds. That's really good. We're reworking animations to resolve issues where characters stop desync for sudden direction changes. Okay. Distance matching. Yada. I am speed. Remove. Yeah, we don't like inertia. I know that it makes the game feel realistic. I don't want realistic. If I wanted realistic, I would go look in the mirror. I want non-realistic. Okay, that's what I want. I want this. Okay, if I wanted realistic, I'd just open honestly, this is what I want. Okay? There's nothing realistic about anything that's on the screen here. HUD. Okay, HUD, menu structure, quest navigation, and tutorial. That's realistic, bro. She doesn't exist, homie. You're never gonna find a girl walking around in public with a string of bullets across her chest, some honking ass titties, her thong showing, and her shorts hanging half off her body. It's not gonna happen. Looking like my girlfriend? Your girlfriend has a penis? You're actually delusional. All right, the HUD was too large, often blocking important areas during combat. We're reviewing the HUD scaling and layout adjustments to reduce screen obstruction. Okay. Notification priorities such as level up pop-ups will be rebalanced. The size of the design HUD will be refined. Okay, whatever. HUD visibility. HP buffs and cooldown indicators were too small. Sure, they're going to fix that. Menu structure. The menu was too difficult to navigate due to a lack of guidance and proper tutorial. Important features were buried deep within the menu, making them hard to find. Okay, so they're going to add a tutorial. Sweet. Quest navigation, quest markers lacked visibility or accuracy, making it difficult for players to track navigation through quests. Color scheme for quest markers was added. All active quests will have their markers displayed on the world map. Sure. There's the tutorial. Many players had difficulties understanding the game's systems and content. Early game guides that appeared as pop-ups couldn't be viewed again later. The tutorial will be improved to provide clearer guidance, especially during the earlier stages of the game. I didn't really feel like the tutorial missed anything. I don't understand how anybody could look at this and be like, I don't understand how to use my weapons. I don't understand. So they're going to improve the tutorial so that can play it, guys. Balance. Currency. People don't read. It wasn't a reading thing. They literally showed you how to do it. Gold. Issues. Players often acquired gold without clearance on how or where to use it. The overall structure of earning and spending gold was underdeveloped, making it difficult to use currency effectively. Gold rewards from epic quests will be increased to ensure players have enough during the early stages of the game. Okay, whatever. Guidance will be added for content like bounty hunting. Yep, see, they're hard. They were hard to find. Local quests, time portals, where players can earn larger amounts of gold. Sweet. Loot value. The gold value of loot was too low, making player feel like the rewards were meaningless and not worth collecting. Okay. Our plan. Reviewing items, item values, and adjusting prices so that loot can serve as a reliable source of gold income. Sure. Social features, party, and communication. Issues. The party system was not intuitive, making it difficult for players to understand how to use it effectively. Just invite people to party. Social features will be expanded to chat lists and player interaction UI. Party invites, guild invites, and friend invites will be accessible through both the player menu and chat windows. The UX for friend, party, and guild invites will be improved to reduce unnecessary steps. The search and results windows for friend, party, and guild menus will be reworked for better clarity. Sorting options will be added for social and search UIs. Okay, whatever. Party UI and notifications. The party UI and guidance system were lacking, making it difficult for players to coordinate effectively. They're going to fix that. Communication. Chat window. Closing a chat tab would often allow the default window back to the global chat, disrupting player experience. Okay, to fix that, minor game fix there. In-game guidance, in-game guides. No, don't give guides. That's what, bro, man, I was going to be the, hello guys, welcome back to Chris Valley channel. Today we're going to discuss Chrono Odyssey. All right, like straight up, man. I was going to be the guide guy. Oh, okay, now they're just going to add their own guides to the game. Oh, no, you didn't? Oh, yes, I did. Okay, to enjoy watch my video, leave a like on the video. That's how you enjoy watching the video. You've been watching this for an hour. Thank you. It helps. Sure. Okay, so they're fixing some of the sound issues. That's like whatever. Narrative. The narrative of Chrono Odyssey is currently undergoing a complete overhaul. Our goal is to deliver a story that allows players to become deeply immersed in the world and the lore. Okay, sure. Wow. That was a crazy, crazy long dev note. Some super important stuff, some less important stuff, all put in here. Crazy, crazy stuff. Most importantly, I think everyone's like biggest concerns were the optimization, which they talked a lot about. Like the frame and the optimization issues, they talked a shitload of that, about that. The movement, look at all this shit on the movement. Crazy. Stuttering, frames, performance issues, frame and input delays. That was discussed. Bugs during the open. Yeah, obviously they're going to fix bugs and stuff, whatever. Fixing like reward things, crafting interface, gear utilization, repetitive farming, progression curve, stats. Actually, the other big thing that they had was at the start. Oh my God, this was long. Holy shit, brother. Oh my God. Okay. My Lord in heaven. Yeah, so the biggest thing, input responsiveness, that's a big thing. Hit feedback was a massive thing. Damage feedback was a really big thing. The skills, the skill trees, character customization, class balance, weapon swap stuff, like combat depth and pacing. These were all the super major concerns that people had brought up. And I'll be honest with you, if they deliver on everything in this dev note, this game's gonna rock the socks off of a lot of players. This game's gonna eat. Now, if they tell us that they're gonna change all these things and they don't change shit, yeah, the game's in a lot of trouble, obviously. But like, it was is an open beta, guys. I was willing to give them a fair amount of lenience on things, but you know, maybe I'm too nice of a guy. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about it. I know that a lot of people are dooming on the game. I'm very optimistic about it, especially with, you know, they're listening to feedback like this. They've delayed the game. They said they're changing all of this big stuff. I think that they're going to fix it. I could be wrong. I think this is the next big MMO. We'll see.